Druski is not who you think he is. Behind the million-dollar brand deals and celebrity friendships lies a side most fans have never seen.
You done fucking right from behind. But you don't want to.
I've uncovered shocking allegations and controversial moments that will change how you view the internet's favorite comedian. From body-shaming a child actor on a live stream,
Yo, come on, bro. Come on.
Yo, y'all been saying that to me all fucking night. Everybody call me the fat all night, but I can't call the other little fat.
to facing serious allegations and Diddy's legal troubles.
On March 7th of this year, an ongoing lawsuit against Diddy was amended to add Druski. In this suit, he was accused of some very serious and terrible things that, if true, could land him in prison for a long time.
Druski's carefully crafted image is starting to crack. The man who built his empire on being everybody's favorite funny friend now finds himself at the center of controversies he can't joke his way out of. Watch this video till the end, because by the time we get to the shocking lawsuit that dropped just now, you might never look at him the same way again. Drew Disboard wasn't always the internet's favorite comedian. Before Druski was a household name, he was just a kid from Columbia, Maryland. But his real story started in Gwinnett County, Georgia, where he grew up. His childhood was nothing like the usual struggling comedian backstory. No tough upbringing, no poverty, no tragic past. Instead, he was raised in a middle-class household by parents who expected greatness. His mother, Cheryl, worked for the State Department. His father, David, was an Air Force veteran and commercial pilot. This was not a family where you could just wing it in life. His parents valued education, structure, and hard work. His mom had a master's degree in public health. His dad was a man of discipline, having served as a National Guard major. There was no blueprint for becoming a comedian in the DeBordas household. The expectation was clear: get a degree, get a career, make something of yourself. But Drew, he had other plans. Growing up in the South, he was surrounded by a mix of cultures: black, white, Latino, and everything in between. And he paid attention. He noticed the way people talked, the little quirks in their personalities. He was always the funny kid, the one who could mimic a teacher perfectly, the guy who had the whole class laughing with just a look. To him, comedy was a way to connect with people. But at home, it was just seen as a distraction. Drew did what was expected of him. At first, he graduated early from South Gwinnett High School and enrolled at Georgia Gwinnett College. It didn't take long for him to realize it wasn't for him, so he transferred to Georgia Southern University, hoping for something different. But instead of a fresh start, he found himself sinking. Georgia Southern was known for its wild party culture, but for Drew, it was just empty noise. He felt lost, depressed. College wasn't making sense. The classes were boring. The future is still unclear. He stopped showing up to lectures, spent more time watching comedy than studying. Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, he soaked it all in. And eventually, he made a decision that would change everything. He dropped out, his family wasn't happy, his mom cried, his grandma threatened to cut him off, but Drew didn't care. He knew he had to take a chance.
I did 1 year at GGC, which is like a close school to where I'm from. Then I went to Georgia Southern, and I did like half a semester.
Jesus.
And just stopped going to classes, just all in general.
I had to bet on myself, he later said, but betting on yourself doesn't pay the bills. So he worked at Red Lobster. He tried reselling sneakers. He even attempted some low-level scams for quick money until he got robbed. That moment was a wake-up call. If he was going to make it, it had to be through comedy. In 2017, he picked up his phone and started posting skits on Instagram. Guess the name? Druski Too Funny.
Client, he's supposed to be up here at 10 a.m. Another one. Yeah, he's supposed to be facing like that's a little bit of shit.
It started small, random jokes, exaggerated characters, nothing serious, but something about his humor clicked. His frat bro character, Kyle Rogger, was an instant hit. His ruthless music exec persona, Bubba Joe, had people dying with laughter. He wasn't just funny, he was different.
Yeah, is it rolling? My name's Bubba Joe, and this here Wildlife Matters.
Hotter than a tow truck right here, ain't it?
He knew how to make a character feel real. Then came the pandemic. 2020 was a turning point. Everyone was stuck at home, bored out of their minds. Instagram Live became the new comedy club, and Druski took advantage of that. He owned it. His could-have-been records, fake talent shows became an internet phenomenon. Rappers, influencers, and everyday people joined his lives just to get roasted.
Yeah, bag. That's what I like. I like the money. I like the bag. Give me the money and give me the bag. I'm not finished, Druski.
sass machine.
I'm not gonna give him back.
From New Orleans?
Clear as day, huh? My bad. Okay, from New Orleans. Could you give me a description of the build?
My build?
Yeah.
Apple-shaped bottom?
Oh, apple bottom.
That's when the celebrities started calling. First Jack Harlow, then Drake, then Lil Yachty. He went from being the guy on Instagram to starring in music videos for some of the biggest names in the game. Jack Harlow brought him into his world.
Welcome to Goat Talk. This is Jack Harlow, and I'm here to check in. Thank you.
Tell him your name. Said Jack. Tell him your name.
Druski.
Goat Talk. Jack Harlow and Druski.
Drake put him in Laugh Now, Cry Later music video.
We laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now.
What are you doing?
Lil Yachty featured him in Oprah's bank account.
Pull up looking like Oprah Bank. Let's go. Take a pic with a bitch and she fakes.
Suddenly, Druski wasn't just an Instagram comedian. He was Hollywood's favorite funny man. The industry wanted a piece of him, and Druski made sure they paid. Brand deals started rolling in. Google Pixel, Bud Light, KFC, Call of Duty. He wasn't just making skits anymore. He was making money. In 2023, he launched his first solo comedy tour, Coulda Woulda Shoulda, selling out venues across the country. Forbes named him one of their top creators. Complex called him the funniest man online. On the surface, Druski had it all: fame, fortune, and a reputation as the guy everybody loved. He wasn't controversial, he wasn't problematic, he was just funny, but that was the image he built, the one he wanted people to see. Because behind the jokes, behind the success, there were moments he'd rather you forget.
Get that fucking right from behind.
Moments that would make people start to question, who really is Druski? And is he as untouchable as he seems?
I didn't forget what you said last time. You said I could die. I didn't do nothing to you, bro. I didn't do nothing to you, bro. You said I could die.
Druski built his career on making people laugh, but not every joke lands the way he expects. Sometimes the laughter stops and the backlash begins. In 2022, he found himself in hot water over a skit that many believed crossed the line. The video, titled Overly Drink, showed him playing a guy at a party pressuring women to drink more and more. At first, people thought it was a comedic take on something we've all seen before, guys who push alcohol on women in a way that feels uncomfortable. But not everyone was laughing. Some viewers argued that the skit wasn't just exposing predatory behavior, it was normalizing it. Others said Druski was highlighting an issue in a way that made people uncomfortable on purpose. The debate was loud, and before it could spiral further, Druski deleted the video. Later, he explained, "I didn't want to trigger people, but some wondered if he deleted it because of genuine regret or because he didn't want the backlash to mess up his brand deals." By late 2024, Druski was bigger than ever. His appearances on Twitch streams were pulling massive numbers, and his connection with top streamers like Kai Cenat only boosted his visibility.
How would you compare your streaming model to R. Kelly's?
Wow. What a
That
question.
guy loves to stream.
Damn right, I'll tell you that. Yo, man, bitch. Robert!
But with more eyes on him, every mistake became harder to ignore. During Mafiathon 2 in November 2024, Druski made a joke that sparked immediate outrage. A young child actor was in the stream, and in the heat of the moment, Druski blurted out, "Look at this fat little shit," setting off a firestorm.
Not you. I'm talking about the little fat.
Yo, come on, bro.
Come on. Fat. Yo. Y'all been saying that to me all fucking night. Everybody call me the fat all night, but I can't call the other little fat the little fat. Man, y'all niggas been fuck out of here. No, come on. Y'all wanna have fat phobia when it comes to the kid, but not me? He's like the fucking.
It didn't take long for the boy's mother to speak out, claiming her son had been mentally and physically abused by drunk men during the stream.
Calling my son a fat ass whatever he was saying. But he's a big ass silverback gorilla. He had no business talking to a 9-year-old like this. And he's sitting here and watching my son cry and be bullied by this fat motherfucker. For no reason, my son was just sitting there, you guys. You guys need to cancel Druski.
The accusations painted an ugly picture, especially for Druski, who had spoken before about being body shamed as a kid. People started pointing out the hypocrisy. How could someone who had been bullied for his weight turn around and do the same thing to a child? That same month, Druski made another misstep, this time involving race. During a stream, he mocked a Taiwanese content creator's accent in gibberish. laughing as he did it.
My name is Ray.
No, go do your language you do.
I haven't even started.
Damn, bro, I haven't started. You said to be real. I said be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself.
Almost immediately, you could see the realization hit. He half joked, "My bad, I might get canceled." But by then, it was too late. Clips of the moment spread, and people began digging up past instances where Druski had made stereotypical jokes about Asian culture. Some resurfaced an old clip of him laughing about rice jokes, and suddenly, a new debate was on the table. Was Druski just joking around, or was there a pattern? His apology was brief, just a simple acknowledgement that he didn't mean it that way, but for some, it wasn't enough. A month before that, Druski faced another round of backlash, this time from the Nigerian community. In October 2024, he posted a skit featuring a character named Tunde, a loud, flamboyant Yoruba scammer, wearing oversized jewelry and speaking in exaggerated Nigerian slang. The internet was split. Some thought it was hilarious, others were furious. Nigerians accused him of reinforcing negative stereotypes that had real-world consequences. The anger grew when people pointed out that Druski had visited Nigeria just months prior. Many felt he had no problem taking their culture when it benefited him, only to turn around and mock it for laughs.
There's white Nigerians out here?
Yes.
Y'all not Jewish?
No, we're not.
Bro.
Opposite. We're the opposite. We're the other side.
What other side of Nigeria is it? What you mean the other side?
We're the three immigrants.
Who fucked each other to create this in Nigeria?
Jews.
You said Jews? I knew it. Didn't I just say that? I knew it was some Jewish people.
The debate over context raged on. Some argued that his skits were just exaggerated versions of real people he'd met. Others felt that, as an outsider to Nigerian culture, he had no business making jokes like that. Either way, it was another hit to his reputation. While these controversies made headlines, there was one topic that made people even more suspicious. Druski had always been close to hip-hop's biggest names, but one name kept coming up more than others: Diddy.
Don't mind if I do.
Over the years, rumors swirled about what really happened at Diddy's infamous parties, and every time Druski was asked about it, his answers left more questions than answers. In a podcast appearance, he was asked directly, "Did you ever go to one of those Diddy parties?" His response, "I went, but it wasn't one of those parties." That vague answer only fueled more speculation.
You ever been to one of Diddy parties?
Yeah, I've been in attendance. I've been in attendance. Not, hey, what the fuck you smirking for?
How you saying that?
I've been in attendance.
He just asking regular
That's all
questions.
I said. That's all I said. I said I've been in attendance. I have been in attendance.
We never been. We just asked him.
That's why I said I was inspired by P. Diddy. That's what I was talking about. Why the fuck do y'all keep looking at me like that? When I say that, I'm saying that I'm inspired by the way he was talking to his people at his label. Well, I ain't say that. Yeah, no, I ain't say that. I like the way that he was talking to the people at his label on the show, you know, like, yeah, so that's the same way we do our business. Yeah.
What did he mean? Did he see something? Was he just trying to avoid the conversation altogether? And with the accusations against Diddy growing louder, some people started wondering, how deep did Druski's ties to him really go? The internet has a way of never forgetting. Every time Druski found himself in controversy, people dug deeper. They started piecing together a different image of him, one that didn't fit the harmless, funny guy persona he had carefully built. For years, he had avoided major scandals, skating by with minor controversies that eventually faded away. But 2025 would bring something different, something he wouldn't be able to joke his way out of. Druski had faced controversy before, but nothing compared to what happened in March 2025. Out of nowhere, his name appeared in an amended lawsuit against Diddy, filed by Ashley Parham. The details were shocking. Parham claimed that back in 2018, Druski had been involved in an assault, allegedly pouring oil or lube on her body like a slip and slide, while Diddy recorded. The internet barely had time to process before the discussions exploded. Druski, the guy who had built his brand on being the funny, harmless comedian, was now being accused of something that could destroy everything he had worked for. The timing of the lawsuit raised immediate questions. In 2018, Druski wasn't famous. He wasn't in the same rooms as Diddy. He wasn't rubbing shoulders with the biggest names in the industry yet. When the allegations surfaced, his response was quick and firm. He denied everything. He went online to shut down the claims, saying, "Man, in 2018, I was broke living with my mom. Ain't no way I was involved in that." He called the entire story fabricated, another example of people trying to take down celebrities. But his critics weren't convinced. If he was just a broke college dropout in 2018, How did his name end up in the lawsuit at all? The internet had a field day with the accusations. Within hours, the hashtag #CancelDruski was trending on Twitter. Some people immediately believed the allegations, pointing out that Druski had always been close to Diddy. Others were skeptical, saying the story didn't make sense. If Druski wasn't famous in 2018, why would he even be in the room for something like this? Then there were those who saw it as a bigger issue. Yet another example of someone in the industry being exposed for things that had been hidden for years. As more details of the lawsuit spread, people started digging into Druski's past. Clips from old interviews resurfaced, showing moments where he dodged questions about Diddy's parties. Some began wondering if there had been signs all along. His vague answers, his nervous laughs. Was there more to the story than people realized? The allegations were serious, but the timeline was messy. People debated whether this was the biggest scandal of Druski's career or just an attempt to pull him into Diddy's downfall. The controversy put Druski's career in a strange place. Just months earlier, he was at the top of his game, with brand deals pouring in, viral moments, and respect in both comedy and hip-hop. Now, every company that worked with him had to rethink their partnership. Would they stand by him, or would they distance themselves to avoid backlash? The industry had always been selective about who got canceled and who got a second chance. Some celebrities had survived worse, while others had their careers wiped out overnight. This scandal also sparked a bigger discussion about comedy and accountability. For years, Druski had walked a fine line between pushing boundaries and going too far. But now, the conversation was different. It wasn't just about a bad joke or an offensive skit. It was about something darker, something that couldn't be brushed off as just comedy. People debated whether internet celebrities were held to the same standards as traditional stars, or if social media fame made them more disposable. With everything happening so fast, one question loomed over Druski's future. Could he come back from this? Some believed his career was finished. Others thought he might be able to survive if he handled it correctly. Either way, the Druski people knew before this scandal he wasn't coming back. Druski had always been known as the lovable internet comedian, the guy who made people laugh without ever seeming to take himself too seriously. But now, that image was cracking. The public perception of him had shifted. Some still see him as the same funny guy they had followed for years. Others see him in a completely different light. The allegations, the controversies, the questionable jokes. Was this who Druski had been all along? Or was it just a case of internet fame catching up to him? One thing is clear, Druski was at a crossroads. Some celebrities had been canceled over less, while others had bounced back from worse. The industry had its own set of rules, and not everyone played by the same ones. Some people pointed out the hypocrisy. They argued that Druski was facing backlash, while other comedians had made similar mistakes and kept their careers intact. Others believed this was different, that there were too many red flags to ignore. The biggest question was what would happen next. Druski had built an empire based on his brand, his humor, his relatability, his connection to his audience. Would people still find him funny after everything that had come out? Would brands still want to work with him? Or would his name become another cautionary tale of internet fame gone wrong? Beyond Druski, the conversation stretched to something bigger. The line between comedy and accountability had never been more blurred. How far could comedians go before their jokes stopped being funny? The internet had always been quick to build people up, but it was just as quick to tear them down. Druski wasn't the first to face this kind of fall from grace, and he wouldn't be the last. No matter what happens next, one thing is certain. This isn't just another controversy that would fade away. This is different, and the Druski that people know, he might not exist anymore. So now, I have to ask, knowing everything we've uncovered, do you still support Druski? Let us know in the comments.